Hello, and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff, and this is episode 166. Can you believe that? Amazing. 166 episodes. That's a lot of questions, bruh. A lot of questions. First question. What advice would you give someone who's trying to make a 5-song EP for the first time completely on their own? Oh, man. I would say prep all you can. Preparation is everything. Actual execution is the easy part. The preparation is mapping out the songs, learning the songs, playing the songs well, and knowing the material inside and out. And that goes for you and all your band members or whoever's gonna be on the EP. Take it in phases. Learning the song, writing the songs, finalizing the songs, recording the songs, and then mixing and mastering the songs. And then the final stage is putting it out. But just know that if this is your first crack at anything like this, it will not be some earth-shattering, unbelievable sounding product. It is a learning, it's a step. It's a learning experience. And as much as you will be defensive about how it sounds and getting any amount of critique on how it sounds, just take it all in and learn from that experience with which you're about to have and apply that to the next thing. It's always all about the next thing. It's not about what you're working on right now. It's always about the next thing and what's coming up. So do the absolute best you can. Take your time, don't rush, and just put all you can into it, man. And you know what? People hear the passion and people hear the blood, sweat, and tears. It's not as, oh, that has too much 4K at this range as you kind of tend to think it is at the beginning. But yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but that's the best advice I can give. I'm just going off what I did with the Sleep City EP and like all the shortcomings of that album sonically, but I learned so much from it that it enabled me to then mix the newest Rest Repose record and other subsequent records, in addition to that, and some I'm working on right now with other local bands. So yeah, just you'll be fine. Just take your time, don't rush. You're gonna learn a lot. What would you advise to a person in their early 30s that's unhappy with his nice paying engineer sales job, that is paying for a house and car, and whose wife is very supportive but does not have a stable career, and that wants to steer into a music related career? Oh man, that's tough. I would say really evaluate what's gonna make you happy and really evaluate if changing careers altogether is the right thing to do for you and your family, because unfortunately, you have to worry about people other than yourself. And if you were a single guy, it would probably be a pretty easy switch. But if you do decide to switch, just know you will have to work 3 times as hard as the next guy, because you have to maintain the balance and continue. You just can't quit willy-nilly and not support your family. When I was trying to get into the music industry full-time, I was working at Boeing. I was social media manager at Evertune. I was an artist rep at Two Notes. I was a customer support service guy for Positive Grid, and I had the YouTube thing all at the same time. That's 5 jobs, and I didn't sleep. And I did that for a year and a half, almost 2 years with all 5. I think I dropped one of them, but it's what I had to do to get into the music industry. And that's kind of how I slowly started working my way into the music industry. And it is tough, man. It is so tough, and it is not for the weak-hearted. So just be prepared. And the music industry is a real fickle and dying industry as it is. So, you know, I would say I hope you know someone in the music industry. I don't know your background, so it's hard for me to really go that deep into it, but just know you will have to put in at least 3 times the work to get into a different industry while maintaining your current one as the next guy who's just coming into it fresh and doesn't have a family or something like that. But all the best of luck to you just the same. Hey Fluff, you consistently write great riffs. Do you have a process you follow, or is it just immaculate conception? It's kind of a little bit of both. I don't know. I usually really feed off a drum beat. That's just kind of where my brain goes. I love the groove. I live for the groove. So if I have a drum beat first, like if we're jamming at a rest repose practice, Jared will start with a drum beat. That kind of gets my head turning, and then I will then come back here and then kind of refine that riff and the song like that. Or if I hear an example beat or something like that, or if I think of a beat, I can normally instantly pretty much come up with a riff that goes along with it pretty quickly. I used to sit and watch the History Channel and kind of noodle around, but my process is always kind of changing. So it's really beat based and it's all about the groove. But as time goes on and I write and am involved with more and more songs, the process does become a little bit more streamlined, and you can kind of think ahead a little bit in the writing process. So if you write a riff, you know, okay, well, I know I want to switch to a key or something like that, or I want to go halftime or what have you. It's different for every song, obviously, but yeah, it's not Immaculate Conception completely, but it is a little bit. It just depends on the scenario and how I'm feeling. It's all based on how I feel at that particular time. Hey Fluff, do you use the tone controls on your guitars? I tend to keep mine cranked wide open at all times. You know what? I can't think of a single instance that I've ever actually gone, oh man, I'm glad I have this tone control. If I need to roll off a little high end, I'll usually just dial it back on the amp or something like that. Or with the Fishmans, I'll just go to a different voice. I don't actually ever use the tone, ever. I don't think I've ever used the tone now that I'm thinking about it, like ever. Even when I was first starting out, I never used the tone control on my Strat. I mean, maybe if you're just playing around or screwing around with a new amp or something, but never in a live situation. In a live situation, since it's such a combination of conscious thought and unconscious thought, I never actually think like, oh, I'm gonna turn down the tone control. Like live, everything is wide open and you're doing minimal channel switching and you're focusing on the song and the performance. So no, I definitely don't use the tone control. I think that's really the reason, one of the reasons why the Hyperion Standard doesn't have a tone control. It just has a single volume, and that's kind of always why I liked Jerry Cantrell's G&L Rampage, is because it has a single volume knob and that's it. It's rock and roll, man. Tone controls aren't rock and roll, right? Right? And now Fluff reads a tweet. Aren't people who avoid commitment committed to avoiding commitment? My suggestion to you this week is to check out the new record from 100 Sons. Rest Repose just got done doing a short West Coast run with 100 Sons, and it features Corey from Norma Jean, my bro Chris from Dead and Divine, and Legs from Every Time I Die, into an awesome group of awesomeness. And they are a wonderful group of guys that are just doing awesome things sonically and otherwise, and this record is so awesome. It was engineered and mixed by my buddy, Bo Burchell, and I think you guys would really like it. It's 7-string, it's detuned, but it's not djenty. It's kind of its own thing, and I think you guys would really dig it. All applicable links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.